It's Falcons Daily. I'm CG, Craig Green. Thanks again for tuning in. Welcome back for another fresh episode. And guys, thanks again for getting us so close to 500 subscribers. Make sure you click on that subscribe button if you haven't already. That's going to do you the favor of putting us right there at the top of your YouTube feed. As soon as you open up YouTube, bada bing, bada boom, there's Falcons Daily right there for you, as long as you click that subscribe button. And again, thanks for tuning in. And we're going to break down four more topics about things surrounding the Falcons, things from the desk of many of our national pundits, and just from the mind of yours truly, CG. So first of which is something that I saw on NFL.com talking about underappreciated players and guys who kind of go unnoticed, fly under the radar. And according to NFL.com, the player that fell under that category for us was Kaden Elliss. Do you think Kaden Elliss is underappreciated, maybe flies under the radar? He led the team in tackles. He had over 150 tackles last year. 5 sacks, did a pretty good job. Of course, Kaden Elliss is pretty flexible. I mean, he can rush over the middle. He can rush from the edge. Basically was a very reliable player for the Falcons last season, coming over from the Saints. Anytime a player from the Saints comes to the Falcons, you kind of give it the side eye, especially because Terry Fontenot came from New Orleans. But he's brought over some good pieces from New Orleans. I mean, I'm glad that Onyemata and Kaden Elliss are in the building and playing defense in Atlanta. But if you look at the next gen stats for Kaden Elliss, he was tied for first with Levante David amongst off-ball linebackers in total pressures. He had 34 pressures on quarterbacks. He had 16 quarterback hits, and again 5 sacks. So I think Kaden Elliss, especially with 151 tackles in the season, definitely went unnoticed. He didn't make the Pro Bowl. Hard to argue that he didn't belong, but alas, he didn't make it. So it is what it is. But is Kaden Elliss underappreciated in Atlanta? Don't know about that. Don't know if he's unappreciated by the Falcons fan base. I mean, I know that there's been definitely times where I've been glad to see him make plays, especially against Dallas. I mean, against the Cowboys, he had a really good game against them. But I think also the thing about Kaden Elliss is that he quietly goes about his business. He's not a big he doesn't do a lot of things that make him go viral. I mean, he's the son of Luther Ellis, who was a football player himself. So Kaden Elliss gets it honest, and he's a good solid football player. I do think he's a little maybe unnoticed by the national media and pundits and whatnot, and a lot of it has to do with the success of the team overall. But again, even when the Falcons were good, it kind of was given the side eye nationally, just because historically we haven't always had success. It feels like it's been few and far between, especially when the Falcons had awesome teams. Like 2016, it took a while for for not the fans, but really the national people to come around and be like, hey, this team can really do something. But Kaden Elliss, it's gonna another solid season for him, plus with the hopefully the help of the pass rush and a better defensive unit overall. Perhaps he'll get the recognition and the accolades that he deserves. Now, remember, just a couple of days ago, there was a vote to ban the tush push at the owners' meetings. Atlanta was one of those teams that voted to ban the tush push. Tell me how you feel about that in the comments. Do you think that it should be banned? It should be altered? Any of those things? I know we kind of talked about it before, but tell me how you feel about the fact that the Falcons voted against it. One thing that I noticed was in the vote, right? The two teams who used the tush push the most was outside of the Eagles. It was also the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills used it nowhere near as much as the Eagles did, but I want to say they used it The Eagles used it. It was a combined 163 times over the last 3 years. I think Buffalo had around 55 of those. So basically, Buffalo themselves voted against keeping the tush push. So, and exactly that is correct. 55. I went to double check my source there. 55 was the number that they used the tush push on. And the Eagles used it 108 times. So, almost double, too shy of double the amount of times that Buffalo used it. Of course, the Eagles want to keep it because it's been very, very successful for them. But, even the Buffalo Bills, who used it the second most amount of times in the league, said, hey, yeah, we should probably ban this play. But, we did get opinions, and we saw opinions on that from Raheem Morris. And Raheem Morris, on the topic himself, he said, the tush push play, I was never a big fan. There's just no other play in our game where you can absolutely get behind someone and push them. That's what he said at the NFL Combine back in February. So, you guys tell me in the comments how you feel about that. If you think that coach is right, if he's wrong, if he's, if he's got something there. I mean, again, there's also a gray area with it. I mean, of course, a quarterback sneak has been in the game forever, but I mean, sometimes you just see the Eagles egregiously just standing people behind the quarterback and pushing him over the line. They continuously talk about how much he squat. Jalen Hurts can squat 600 pounds, which of course is very impressive. But if he squats that much, why do they need to push him over the line from behind with a running back and a tight end? So, and yeah, and it's a lot. It's easy to say, yeah, if you can't stop it, that's on you. But also, the NFL wants to eliminate anything that's automatic. So they thought the extra point was automatic. They pushed it back to a 33-yard extra point. Now you're seeing people miss it. So, but the vote fell 2 votes short. The play's gonna live. So it may be revisited in the future, but the Packers gave it the best go. They're going to play the Eagles in Week 10. We'll see how it shakes out. But, I've always said, if you want to stop the tush push, the number one thing you got to do is keep the Eagles out of short yardage. Next topic on the board for everybody here, Falcons family, is OTAs, which are coming up right here on Tuesday. They're going to start Tuesday, so it's the 27th and 28th, so Tuesday and Wednesday, and then also Friday. Then it starts again on June 2nd and June 3rd. So with OTAs, again, it's going to be a mix of the rookies and the veterans. They're all going to be in the building together. There will be a little bit more permitted in terms of 7-on-7, 9 versus 9, what have you. No, they will not be wearing pads, but they will be wearing helmets and shorts again. So, it's just going to be another time to get everyone up to speed on what they've learned already. Install some other things, I'm sure, and really just get a feel for who you have in front of you. I know we've heard the coaching staff, particularly Raheem Morris and Terry Fontenot, say, hey, we know Jalen Walker, we know James Pierce, we've watched them on film already a lot. We're going to be looking at the UDFAs and the camp tryouts, to see what they've got. I think that's still going to ring true this time around, but there will be a closer eye on some of the rookies and some of the newer guys who are coming into the building for the Falcons. And, it will be kind of intriguing to see how the rookies like Jalen meshes with guys like a Kaden Elliss or a Leonard Floyd. What can they learn from the vets? One thing, we heard that they're going to learn is that the vets get to sit where they want first, and then the rookies get to sit down. That's one thing that Ra had said a few weeks ago. But with the OTAs, again, just it's just one step closer to training camp. Once training camp hits, that's when you're really going to feel like football is about to start coming back. So just get ready for some more helmets and shorts. You'll probably see some interviews. And keep an eye on things on Falcons Daily, and we'll keep you updated on all the things going on at OTAs and beyond. Now we're looking at Drew Dahlman here. Another thing I saw was teams who could have suffered one of the bigger losses to their roster, and that was also something else from NFL.com. player departures that could have the biggest impact on their former team. And NFL.com picked Drew Dalman, who left to join the Chicago Bears, as the person who's going to impact the Falcons the most, because he's no longer in the building. And right now, it is affecting the Falcons pretty heavily. I mean, they still have the faith that Ryan Newsom's coming back and he's going to sign his tender. I don't know what he's waiting on, to be honest with you. Again, he can't negotiate with any other teams. So I don't know if he and his agent are trying to work out a deal with Atlanta, maybe like a long-term deal, and that's possibly what the holdup is. So things could be amicable right now. They're just saying, hey, hold off on signing just in case we can squeeze out a long-term deal with you. So that could also be the thing that's happening. Remember, the Falcons only have around $5 million in salary cap space. So Terry's going to have to get super duper creative to be able to get Ryan Newsome in the building under contract. He may have to shuffle money around in other places and maybe convert someone's regular base salary into a signing bonus to free up some cap space to get Ryan Newsome back into the building. So we'll see how all that shakes out, but I do think that Drew Dalman's departure is hurting the Falcons again, because right now we're going to have a left guard playing center and our center's not in the building. And remember, when we even went to Dalman in the beginning, there was a little bit of trepidation because of the fact that he was replacing Alex Mack. So, there was a lot of uncertainty there too, because Alex Mack was such a solid player, Pro Bowl player for the Falcons. I mean, all pro center. Perhaps maybe even borderline Hall of Famer. Who knows? That's we'll leave that up to the folks in Canton to decide, and for y'all here on YouTube and social media. But right now, I do feel like Drew Dalman's departure is causing a big impact. But in terms of wins and losses, it's not hurting the Falcons one bit at this point. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. We will be back again tomorrow with some more topics surrounding the Falcons, and anything we find interesting. Surrounding the team, we're going to try to bring it right here for y'all. Again, follow me on social media, Craig G Sports, CRAIG, the letter G and the word sports. Please click subscribe and make sure you do not miss on any new Falcons Daily content. So again, until tomorrow, hasta mañana, mata hasta, see you tomorrow, sayonara, and buenos noches.